Hello, assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are fine. Our today's discussion is about famous dichotomies discussed by Ferdinand de Saussure. Out of various dichotomies, we intend to discuss today two terms here that are langue and parole. Langue can be defined as that it is an abstract system of knowledge present in the mind of the speakers of particular speech community are the members of a particular society. That is also called the social code of that particular society. So there are different characteristics of our term that is langue. Number one, it is abstract because that is in the shape of some stored knowledge in the mind of the speakers or listeners. Okay, that's why we call it is abstract, because we do not find out its physical expression. Till then, that is abstract and present in the form of knowledge that are in the form of mental images stored in the minds of the speaker of particular society or speech community. That's why we say it is abstract, because we cannot listen or we cannot see its form. Therefore, it is simply still the knowledge stored in the mind of the speakers of particular society. And number two, we said it is a system, and system is a total body of the rules of any particular thing here of language. All the rules of language and structures of language which are interlinked with each other, all the categories and elements of language which are interlinked with each other, they form a certain system here. That's why langue is not randomly present in the minds of the speakers, but that is a complete system. That is a complete system in the minds of the speakers of that particular society or particular language. Okay, so two characteristics we discussed up to now. Number third is that langue is a social code, means it is a shared system of language. Speakers of that particular society or group of the social people share that code or that language. That's why we say it is langue. For example, all the people of Sindhi language, they share that social code. They speak same language. Whatever words they use, other people mostly listen to them. For example, if I say the word like one, the listener, the hearer can also understand what is the meaning of the one outside there. Okay, so here we share that particular social code here. The word one is used here is a code, for example, because language is also used for a social code. So three characteristics till now we discussed. Number one, langue is abstract. Number two, it is a system. Number three, it is a social code, means the speakers of that particular society that share that code. All people have that code, maybe in the form of certain mental images in their minds. Okay, number three. Number four, it is a legislative side of a language, simply. Legislative side here means it has the power to make or form rules of language. So this system that is present in the mind has the power, has the ability to form rules of language. Simply, the rules, the structure, the system is present over here, and we can use that structure, that system that is present in our minds when we try to speak certain words or write certain sentences or words, or when we have a language in a physical form. So it is a simply legislative side of our language, means we legislate here, we understand each other on the basis of these rules. Like legislative in law, all the constitutions which are made, are the people who have authority to make constitution are legislative people are, that is action of legislation. So here number fourth is langue is legislative in nature. And number five is langue is fixed. According to Ferdinand de Saussure, langue is a fixed phenomena. It doesn't change from speaker to speaker. All the people have same ability, same system of knowledge in their minds. It is fixed, it is not changing, it is not for example it is not varied from it is not in various forms. So that is static, that is not dynamic, that is not changing. It doesn't change at all according to Ferdinand de Saussure. Number fifth characteristic. Number six, according to Ferdinand de Saussure, it is mostly believed that he said langue can be the subject matter of the study in linguistics are studied by linguists, other people. So long can be studied because it is a static system of knowledge that is stored in the mind, present in the mind, and we can study it because it is static, not dynamic. There won't be any problem of change, any variety and bulk of representation or performance that is in parole, that is we will discuss in parole. Number second concept is here in this dichotomy, that is parole. Parole is actually physical performance or utterance of our any sentence. So on the basis of our knowledge, whatever we speak, whatever we say, we physically perform. You listen to them, you listen to my voice, for example, is my performance, it's my parole, actual utterance of my knowledge in physical form. So whatever actual individual utterance is there, that is simply called parole. Okay. Long was system of knowledge, parole is performance out of that knowledge. Number one, so parole is number one, individual utterance. Number two, parole, for example, is actual speech act. Whatever we say, that is act of performance, that is actual speech act as well. Okay. Then it is executive, means implementational side of our language. We have first constitution here, and we now use that constitution, execute this knowledge in the shape of our sentences, our oral expressions or our written expressions. That is implementation of our constitution or system of knowledge that is present in the minds of the speakers. That's why we call it executive side of our language or aspect of our language. And that is also behavioral reflexes of knowledge. Parole is also behavioral reflexes of our knowledge. So the knowledge is present. Now through our behavior we have reflexes, we have utterances, sentences in physical or concrete shape. That's why we call it parole. So it is behavioral reflexes of knowledge. And parole is individual, like is long was shared, social. Parole performance is individual, means every individual has a different performance, speaks differently. That's why we call it is individual. The sixth characteristic of our term parole is that it cannot be studied because the bulk of production of sentences in speech makes it difficult to collect data and study it, because mostly our spoken language changes, so there are chances that we may not be able to collect that data on which we can study, so that becomes very difficult. So whatever the discussion is there, surely there is certain criticism on these concepts or these terms as well. Okay, so let's try to see what are different issues on these terms and issues of these terms. Okay, number first is that as we said in long is dynamic, static, it is not changing. So it is not the case with the language. Language is always changed. There we may find out change in languages. You can see how our language was in the times of Shah Abdul Latif and how English language was there in Anglo-Saxon period. So you can find out change in language, because language is changed, they are not dynamic. Okay, so number first issue is there that language is not completely static. Even changes occur in the system of knowledge or system of language as well. Number two is languages are process, they are not state. Language is a process, it is not a state. Means it is a ongoing process of learning, changing, shifting of language. The activity, the phenomenon of language is not stagnant or static, that is dynamic, means moving, changing, and going on with the historical developments. Number three, mostly the system of knowledge is not same for all, as in one of the concepts but discussed by Noam Chomsky, is that system of knowledge vary from person to person. He termed it as a competence. Okay, so that system may vary from person to person. Some people are very good at languages, speaking and listening and understanding languages. Like there are some of the people who still understand Shah Abdul Latif Vidai's language in Sindhi, and most of the people sitting in my class may not be able to understand properly or completely Shah Abdul Latif Vidai's language. Okay, so here we say that long is not same for all, and languages are not same for all. The knowledge of language is not same for all. That may vary from person to person. Okay, and another issue is there, like long, like long parole can also change with the passage of the time, or like parole, long can also change with the passage of the time, just because of the under the effects of the performance or the parole aspect of our language. Under the effect of parole, long can also change with the passage of the time. And another issue is there, long and parole are not two completely different aspects, but they are interrelated. If one is not present, then it is obvious we may not have the other aspect. If we do not have long, we won't be able to have its parole or speech or physical utterance or performance when we are unable to have a system of that particular language in the shape of knowledge stored in the minds. That's why we say that they are interrelated terms there. Okay, so parole has also some social aspect as well. This is our last issue which we are going to discuss here. Parole has also social aspect, means we also speak differently in different situations. Let's suppose in class we speak differently, and in playground we speak differently. We speak differently with our parents, and we speak in a different way with our friends somewhere in the market or in a playground or outside of our home. So parole has also some social aspect or social consideration as well. With this, we are going to end our today's lecture. We will be together in our coming class. Till then, take care and Allah Hafiz.